Oh man, I'm so excited for you to now discover why this is such a perfect opportunity because the products speak for themselves, proven scientifically, 45-year history, countless testimonials. It's water. We're made of water. Like logically, it makes perfect sense. And once you drink it and experience it, you'll fall in love with the product. It will change your life. And now, for those of you that are really excited about a business that you can promote, leveraging the platform and online and technology and all these exciting things, we're going to break down for you why this particular opportunity fits in perfectly with our criteria of a high ticket leverage business. So without further ado, I'm just going to quickly jump right into the slides here. And let me know if you can see those, guys, and we're good to go. And I just got to press present. Yeah. So the Enagic business model explained. And what we're going to do is we're going to touch on a couple different key elements that you may have heard of a business model in the network marketing space, home-based business space, MLM space. And there are some similarities for sure, which is a good thing. But there are some key differences that make it very unique and very different that you most likely have never seen or heard of before. And that's why this is a sleeping giant model inside this industry that is actually the biggest industry around. You know, it's like 2018 was $189 billion industry, and it's emerging and growing. So just to touch on a few of the key big differences is that it is a real business. It's got real tangible products, as you saw, that make real substantial results in people's lives. There's no sign-up fee. There's no monthly qualifications. There's no stocking and loading of inventory in your garage. You don't need to do that anymore. There's no annual renewal to stay in the business. It's directly connected to your investment and your purchase of the products. Once you own the products, you have global distribution rights for the rest of your life. There's no, another really powerful thing here is that the sales are accumulative. So as we go through this information, you're going to notice that a certain amount of sales are required to unlock greater commissions and bonuses in the compensation plan later on. Now, what's cool about this is if you don't have any experience, you don't have a background in sales or marketing, and you're new to this, and your learning curve is going to take a little bit of time, which everybody has to go through anyways, you're never going to be penalized for taking your time, and your sales are always going to count. In my mom's case, it took her longer than average to achieve the first major leadership rank, but she was never punished for that. She never had to start over again. She didn't have to re-qualify every month. So over time, as she learned and applied herself and stayed committed and stayed with the business, all of those sales just kept counting and counting and counting, and she never went backwards, which is so important for anybody to plant their flag and build something substantial, a legacy long-term that matters. And Enagic's one of the only ones in the industry that actually has that. International sponsoring. We touched on this earlier. There's all the global offices. So when you are building your business online and in a traditional business, let's say somebody hits you up from Europe on Facebook, wants to buy your products, and you're like, I'm not ready to do that. You know, I'm selling locally, I'm selling here. It doesn't work. Here, anywhere in the world, you meet a friend at the airport, you sit beside somebody on the plane, you run some ads. Doesn't matter exactly how you meet new people, but they're not going to be limited because of where they live. It is the whole entire world that you can do this, and international sponsoring is huge. We're all connected now with the internet. 9 ways to earn an income. Obviously 9 is better than 1, which is what most people earn, right? They have one source of income, which is their paycheck. And maybe if your boss is nice, you get an annual bonus or something. This is 9 ways to earn. And Enagic cuts checks every single day of the week. It is part of their daily operations is to cut checks based on the sales. So you don't have to wait every 2 weeks or once a month or anything like that. The perfect career. Of course, you probably already want this and you know this, right? A dream job is to not have a job at all. It's no boss, no commute, no politics, no alarm clock, no compromises, no educational requirements. You don't need a degree. You don't need to go to college or university. It doesn't matter. If you did, awesome. If you didn't, cool. No discrimination. It doesn't matter what your past how colorful your past may have been. If you made mistakes, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what color your skin is. Doesn't matter what country you're born. Doesn't matter what language you speak or don't speak. There's no employees. There's no overhead. All of the stuff that makes entrepreneurship so much more challenging and being treated fairly in the regular job sector, none of those things apply here, which is just the most beautiful thing ever, in my opinion. The perfect business has a great product. Obviously, we can all agree after watching everything you've seen so far that this is a phenomenal product. It's even better than a great product. Unlimited income. There's no cap on how much you can earn here. It's residual, which means you're going to put in the work once and continue to reap those rewards for years to come. And it's real residual income. And I've been building this almost 7 years. And I can tell you from personal experience, it's very much residual and very much real. One of the most important things is that your own personal growth is the key to your success. Who you are and who you become is going to eventually be the catalyst for your success in this business. And who you are today is not the person you're going to become in order to become the best version, millionaire version of yourself. It's meaningful. You are genuinely helping people and changing people's lives. You can enjoy your colleagues because you get to choose your colleagues. You get to choose who you spend time with. If somebody doesn't vibe with you or you don't vibe with them, you don't have to talk to them. You don't have to do anything, which is amazing. International, especially for those of you who love to travel, it's so cool because I visited, I don't even know how many offices now. I think it's around 10 so far in the world. And if I go traveling in Europe and I stop by the Enagic office and I film a video, my trip is a write-off. My business flight ticket is a write-off because I'm working, I'm visiting the office, I'm doing my thing. So there's a lot of really cool things that break down some of those previous barriers that people think they have to operate within that don't exist anymore. It's low risk, low startup cost. There's tax benefits, there's time freedom, it's economy proof. When the economy gets in trouble, our business booms. How cool is that? When everybody else is scrambling, getting laid off from their jobs, stock market's down, there's recession, there's doom and gloom on the news, there's all this stuff going on, our businesses explode because people finally realize they need to take control of their own future, of their own situations. So I've been through this cycle before in the past. My business, my income, everything got better because people were flooding, all the people on the fence who were comfortable, playing it safe, relying on that paycheck every 2 weeks, maybe that was taken from them or whatever, boom, now they're ready to get started. So there's most likely a recession that's going to be happening soon in the next, 12 to 18 months at the time of this recording, sometime in 2020, 2021. It's very likely because the market cycle, it continues to happen every 8 to 10 years. There's a recession. It's just the regular way that the economy operates. And when that happens, we are all excited. Enagic, our businesses, our livelihoods, our income, everything's going to boom. It's not going to be in a decline. This is very exciting times. So you may have heard of a guy named Robert Kiyosaki. He was one of the very first people that I ever read a book about, and it blew my freaking mind wide open. And I was like, oh my God, this is so simple, yet it makes so much sense. And he wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you haven't read it, highly, highly recommend reading it. It's a really good read and very educational, very eye-opening. And he talks about this thing called the cash flow quadrant. And most people in the world are on the left side of this quadrant. They're either employees, which means you have a job, or you're self-employed, which means you own a job, or technically the job owns you, but we'll get into that later. And you're on the left side of this. Now, here's a very interesting statistic, okay? So 95% of the population operates on the left-hand side of this diagram, but they share 5% of all the money, okay? So 95% of people share 5% of the money. So imagine you're at a birthday party and there's a birthday cake and somebody comes out with this tiny little slice of a cake, okay? And 9 people out of 10 have to share that one. And then like the rest of the cake's put to the side. And it's like, oh no, you can't touch that. It's not for you. You guys share this one little tiny slice. That's basically the economy in a nutshell. So when people get frustrated from having a job, most of the time they transition over to becoming self-employed. So they're like, you know what? I want to start some kind of a business. And they don't realize that unless you have a system that works for you, it is not a business. You are the business operating, wearing multiple hats. So in my life, I had a job. I got fired from 12 jobs by the age of 25. And I thought I was literally, something was wrong with me. And I didn't learn until later that something was wrong with me. And what that thing was, is that I was unemployable. I was an entrepreneur at heart. I had an entrepreneurial bone in my body, and I wanted to be my own boss. And I didn't like to be told what to do and when to do it and how to do it. And a lot of you watching this right now, the reason you're here is because you also know this. You know that there's that entrepreneurial side of yourself. So I went into sales. The S also stands for sales or straight commission, which means you only eat what you kill. You have to keep producing, keep selling to make a commission, to make an income. So I got into door-to-door sales. So I went from employee to self-employed. I had my own company that I was getting paid to. I was making straight commission money. And I got that all the way up to $250,000 a year, which was really good money, but I had no freedom. I didn't have the lifestyle that I wanted. I couldn't travel when I felt like it. I still had a boss telling me what to do. And at that point in my life, I thought money would solve all my problems because I didn't have much growing up. Then once I had, what seemed to be so much money at the time, I realized that it was much more than just money. So from there, excuse me. From there, I looked at all these different business models and compared them. And I got into the network marketing space. It wasn't with Enagic at first because I didn't believe that I could do this. I didn't believe that I was worthy of selling products that cost this much money. And the mistake that I made was I was making it all about me. It was like me. Why would someone buy it from me? It was the me story. And the thing that I realized, it had nothing to do with me. It actually had everything to do with the person that I was helping. It had to do with other people. And if I could help them solve their problems, the cost of these products are minimal compared to the value that they're going to receive. So of course someone would want to buy it. I didn't know that at the time. So I dabbled and I got in these other businesses. I did okay. And the whole entire time I had Enagic on my kitchen counter talking to me in the morning when I had my water and throughout the day saying, Kangen water, 9.5. And I remember holding the glass, drinking my water, standing beside my machine in my kitchen, frustrated, shaking my head, being like, if only there was a business that could do this and do this and do this. And I was describing what I'm about to describe with you right now. It was right there on my kitchen counter for 5 years as a health product because I didn't connect the dots. I didn't see what I see today, what I hopefully you see right now. And it's a complete mindset paradigm shift once you get this and it lands for you and you're like, oh my gosh, I finally found the ticket to my freedom, the ticket to my future. So I got involved with Enagic as a business owner. And then in the last few years, as my business exploded, I now spend a minimum of 50% of my Enagic income in investments that create other streams of passive income that is growing my wealth, that doesn't take any of my time, but it's smart investments that are growing and compounding over the years. And that's what you're going to be able to do as well as you go through this. The good news is that a lot of you are able to jump from employee straight to business owner if you get involved with Enagic. And you don't necessarily have to go through the self-employed route. You can go directly across, and that's awesome. So I basically just covered all this, but the biggest shift with this is you got to see how when you go from E to S, you potentially can make more money, but you're usually working twice as much because you have to wear all the different hats. And that means that you're, the manager, you're the recruiter, you're the salesperson, you're this, you're that. And it's super, super stressful. And you have so little time for yourself to get out of that. So a lot of the time, self-employed people need to be super, super disciplined with making the time to learn what they need to learn to become business owners so they can eventually get rid of that altogether. It's really, really important. And the thing is leverage is the key to massive success. leveraging other people's time and energy, leveraging your dollars to create more dollars, leveraging your time, leveraging the internet. There's so many different ways of leveraging inside what we're showing you that is ultimately going to get you to where you want. 5% of the population shares 95% of all the wealth. So the game is, how do you get to the right side of this cash flow quadrant? And that's exactly what we're showing you right now. Enagic also has their own system built into it specifically for their company, because you don't have to worry about operations and all that stuff. And then this is one of my favorite quotes. It's, I would rather earn 1% off 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts. And the thing about this quote is, when you're first getting started, it's a little bit hard to wrap your mind around, okay? But I just want to leave you with this thought for a second. So in 1 week, you have 168 hours. So most people's schedules, most people's routines, they are on a 1 week cycle, right? Weekdays, weekends, when you spend time with your family, when you work out, when you do whatever you want to do, for most people is on a 168 hour schedule. So if you were to max that out, that's it. That's all the time that you have. It's all the time that I have. So in this business, as you start to grow and duplicate with a team, and everybody's putting in their 1%, over time, you end up having hundreds or thousands of hours a week being put into the business, because everybody's building their own business within your business. And that ends up turning into an incredible income and max leverage for yourself. So it's really, really exciting. The biggest thing between the left and the right is mindset. So on the left-hand side, if you've ever been in a working environment where your coworkers and stuff like that, they're usually complaining, they're negative, they're always talking about what's wrong and the problems and stuff, and they're closed-minded. They think everything's too good to be true. They think that it's a scam or a scheme or someone's trying to take advantage of them. They focus on the problems in their life. They're easily distracted. They can't focus on a goal or a project for very long. They're always kind of dabbling in different things. They listen to the wrong people. Now, what I mean by that is, you only want to listen to somebody who has the results that you want to have in a very specific area of life. So sometimes what people will do is they'll ask their mom and dad or their spouse or their best friend for advice on all things. So your mom and dad, maybe, for example, maybe they got divorced. Should they be giving you marriage advice? No. If your mom and dad are in debt and they're paycheck to paycheck and they're kind of going through a lot of that stuff, should you be listening to them on career advice or financial advice? No. So the whole point of this is, listen to the people who have the results that you want in a very specific area. And people on the left-hand side do not do that. They're always waiting. They're always procrastinating. They're always waiting for the perfect time, and they never take action. And their overall attitude and belief in life is, I can't because. I can't because I don't have the time. I can't because I don't have the money. I can't because I don't know. I didn't go to school for it. It's an excuse-based mindset, okay? Now, what's interesting is, if you look at the top of this cash flow quadrant, you're going to notice how 95% of the population shares 5% of the wealth on the left. It's the mirror opposite on the right. It's 5% of the population shares 95% of all the wealth. So logically, let me ask you this. If it's a mirror opposite, would it make sense for the mindset to also be a mirror reflection opposite as well? Yes, right? That's the reason why those numbers are opposite. So if you look down here, left-hand side negative, right-hand side positive. Left-hand side closed-minded, right side open-minded. Focus on solutions instead of problems. Stays focused instead of distracted. They listen to people with results instead of the wrong people who just have opinions on everything that they don't technically shouldn't be giving any opinions on or advice on. They're always taking action. The left-hand side believes that failure is bad. The right-hand side fails fast to learn what doesn't work, because it ultimately leads to what does work. Failure is just a learning experience on the right-hand side. So they're always taking action. They don't care if they get some losses along the way, because it ultimately leads to the bigger, more important wins. right? Doesn't matter if you lose a few games in the regular season if you still win the championship and you're the number one team. That's what matters, right? So the difference here is it's a resourcefulness, which is so important. A lot of people say, I don't have the resources. I don't have time. I don't have money. So it stops them. I can't. Now, let's say you didn't have time and you didn't have money and you're in a very similar circumstance to the people on the left. That's okay, because resourcefulness is the key to success in the beginning. So if you ask yourself, okay, I don't have the time, but how can I make the time? Where can I eliminate some things that I may be doing with my schedule to make the time? All right, well, I don't have the money at this moment. How can I come up with the money? How can I sell some things? How can I be of value, of service? How can I, maybe do something like mow the neighbor's lawn as an example, or wash people's cars, or volunteer somewhere else, or whatever. There's always a way, but the way to open that creative problem solving part of your mind is to ask a question such as, how can I? It opens up possibilities. I can't keeps the door closed. Nothing gets in or out. And that's why you're closed-minded. And that's why people there are stuck and hate their lives. And they spend 40 years getting nowhere. You know what I mean? And the people on the right-hand side can create above average results in 3 to 5 years and accelerate and fast track what's possible. And guys, this is one of the most important slides of information you will ever see. It is so critical. When I understood this the very first time, when I saw this, I was shocked, because guess what? I was on the left-hand side in almost all of those categories. And you might be feeling like that right now too, where you're like, you know what? I'm not fully there, because you probably wouldn't be here right now watching this information if you were 100% there in all those categories. But you will notice that you probably are averaging throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout your life, a lot of the stuff on the left-hand side. And it's because of your influences, the circle of people around you at work, your family, stuff like it's the way we are designed to be, right? Proximity is power. It can hurt you, but it can also help you if you make those changes. And then over the years, I just quickly started to realize that, oh my gosh, I am now positive. I am now grateful. I'm way more open-minded, and I was focusing on solutions. We're essentially professional problem solvers as entrepreneurs. So that's the most important side. You really need to let that sink in, listen to it a few times, screenshot it, tattoo it on your face, whatever you got to do to really remember it. Super important stuff. So what does financial freedom look like? Let's break it down, guys. Everyone thinks they want financial freedom, but very few people actually know what it is. And if you don't know what something is, how can you achieve it? So let's quickly break this down. There's 3 levels of financial development, okay? When you think about financial freedom, you hear it on the news, you hear it on bank commercials, all over the place, right? It's a popular discussion that people have. But if you're paycheck to paycheck and you have a job and you have some debt and you're really not the best place and you're trying to get yourself out of that, it's like a fat, overweight person who's never gone to the gym, never taken care of their health, being presented with this beautiful, amazing idea to climb Mount Everest. They're going to be like, dude, I could barely get out of bed and walk around the street, walk around the block. So you can't start people there, right? You have to work your way up progressively until eventually they are fit, they have been training, and now they believe, okay, I can accomplish this goal. I can climb Mount Everest. So that's kind of like how our finances evolve over time as well. Financial stability is first. When you have enough money coming in to cover your needs and your basic lifestyle, for most people, this is between $2,500 and $5,000 per month. Now, the key with this is how you earn this money, okay? So if you're able to earn this amount of money through your business, you go to the next level. So financial independence is when you're making the same amount in your business as you are making in your job. Now you have twice the money. So you're making twice, you can cover your needs and lifestyle, and you now have money to save and to invest. So this is really big. So whatever your current full-time income is right now, let's call it $3,000 or $5,000 or 10 grand. What we want to do is get you to a place to immediately, as soon as possible, get you to financial stability in your business, and then get you to an independence, which is twice as much, and then get you to financial freedom, which is, it starts, this is the key thing, Financial freedom starts 10 times what you currently earn as your full-time income. And that's the beginning of financial freedom. It gets much, much, much better there. You can go 20, 50, 100,000 times over, the course of your lifetime. Now you're making far more money than you need. Not only can you invest, but now you can help take care of many other people's needs, start playing in the big leagues. Now money is never an issue. So this is what we're going to help you be able to go through these 3 levels. All right. If you fail to plan, you have planned to fail. You need to know and understand where you are so you can plan where you are going. If you fail to plan, you have now planned to fail. So extremely important questions to ask yourself. What is the financial vehicle or plan that will help you reach financial freedom within the next 3 to 10 years? Are you confident with your plan? Do you even have a plan? Most people don't. Is it working for you? What if your plan fails? Do you have the skills you need to create a new plan? Are you open to a plan that works? Let's get paid with Enagic, guys. You need to start getting paid with Enagic. It is profound how beautiful this business model is once you start leveraging it properly. So as an Enagic independent distributor, you will see that it's different by quite a few major things. I touched on a few of them in the beginning of this business section, but let's talk about a couple more things real quick here. So Enagic also offers a retirement plan, and it's not connected to your monthly sales volume. So this starts at $5,000 per month. My wife and I, combined, we're at $20,000 a month of this particular retirement plan. And it took us 5 years to get to that place. So no promises or guarantees of how long it will take you. If you'll ever achieve that is up to you. But this is no longer just a cool thing on a slide for me and my family. This is very much happening in real life as well. It's super exciting. We've all paid our dues and put in our time, and we all started in the exact same place, just like you. So there's no differences. We're just a couple of steps a little bit further along than you may be right now. That's super exciting. We're leading the way. We're showing it's possible. And we're an example that this compensation plan is the real deal. And it's what it says it is. So how this is actually compensated is because the company is 45 years old. Enagic has been investing wisely their company profits into something like a fund that has been compounding and growing significantly over the course of 40 plus years. And when you hit the rank of 682-3, which is where this bonus begins, Enagic knows that you've produced a certain number of sales volume that is also contributing to the fund, which then allows them to be able to continue paying this for the long term and it not be connected to sales volume. Now, here's a really exciting thing that we have the ability to do as well, is we have built-in social proof for new members to show them that this business works. And it could be $380, sometimes more. We'll get into that in a minute. It's zero attrition. Attrition stands for people giving up and quitting. And in network marketing, it's a major issue. The average person only stays for 90 days before they give up. This is zero attrition and permanent ranking. So once you own the machine, once you own the product, you can't quit. You can't give up. You can stop working. You can stop taking action, but your position stays there permanently. So that's huge because over the long term, that's going to add up to a massive business where you can eventually hit those higher ranks. No auto ship or additional cost to participate in the compensation plan. This is also very unique. There is an auto ship on the Ukon turmeric product to choose to get it every 4 months or every 12 months, but it's not mandatory and it's not necessary. It's just an added bonus inside of the compensation plan. You can use other people's money to start your business. So if you study the wealthy people, you start reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and other financial education books, you're going to hear about other people's money often, OPR. And you probably heard the expression where it takes money to make money, right? Or wealthy people keep getting wealthier and rich people keep getting, poorer and broke. Well, that may be true, but it doesn't have to be your own money when we talk about it takes money to make money. It could be other people's money, such as a bank, such as borrowing, having a loan. So that is what we mean here, is that you're able to get a loan for your Enagic products as long as you qualify and your credit's good and you have a job and all those criteria for any loan, but it's an option. So this really helps us build our businesses because not everybody is in a financial situation to be able to buy this outright cash or on a credit card. So it's awesome. High ticket commissions in depth. Wait till you see this. It's not just getting high ticket commissions once when you make a sale. It's in depth, so you get leverage and overrides off of others. It's a global offer, so there's no limitations in terms of countries. That is massive, and you have lifetime distribution rights, which is just so exciting, because now, you know, I can't tell you how much money I've earned total, but let's just say it's a lot. My investment inside of the company is exact same as yours. So I spent the same amount of money on my products to establish my business in the beginning as everyone else, but the ROI is infinite. So every single year, as I continue to earn more and more and more and more, my startup cost was the same. So that's just unbelievable. 45-year-old company, it's never reduced amount paid out. So in some cases, when a company is really old, they try to change the compensation plan and decrease how much they're paying their distributors and affiliates. Well, that isn't what happens here. They've actually made it better multiple times in the last 12 years that I've been a part of this company. And that's really cool. They're finding more ways of giving and improving and increasing our opportunity of how much we can earn. There's about 1.5 million machines so far. So there's basically no market penetration. You don't have to worry about saturation or everybody's has one already or any of that kind of stuff. You'll never have to worry of us running out of people to share this with. The company's doing well over $30 million a month in revenue, and the average 682-3 rank earns about $500,000 per year. I'm not average, and that's not my income. So it's good to know what the average numbers are, but it's not going to apply to anybody who is working smarter and scaling past average. So the business is all about these three key principles: realizing true physical health, as you saw with the products. It is taking care of one of the major pieces of health, 70% of the equation with water, with our physical health. Then it takes care of our financial health. We don't have to worry about money. We can pay our bills on time. We can pay off our debts. We can provide for our families. And when you have your health and you have your finances sorted, guess what happens? You have less stress. You have less anxiety. You have less worries. You have less problems, as long as they are revolving around money being able to solve them. It's not really a problem. And that gives you true peace of mind. So you get mental health, mental clarity. It's amazing. Did you know that 80% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck, struggling financially? Most people live to work rather than work to live. Many people don't have the financial foundation necessary to afford the lifestyle they desire. Too often we find ourselves struggling, working on making a living rather than a life. Guys, that's no way to live. That's just survival. It's all about thriving and really being able to live life on your terms. The only thing you need to do in order to distribute for the Enagic company is own a product yourself. How cool is that? There are 0 monthly or annual fees, no auto ship or additional costs to participate in the compensation plan. And you can start your business with positive cash flow from day one. That's unreal compared to many other options that are out there. So let's talk about the KA Comp Plan Mastery. And this may be a lot for you to process the very first time you hear it. I'm going to do my best to keep it simple. You can watch this a few times. It's going to make more sense as you get going with this. But the Enagic's flagship machine is the K8, okay? So we're going to use the K8's price and the commissions that are paid out specifically for the K8 in this example. So the total price is $49.80 plus tax in the US, and the commission paid out is 54%, which is $2,720 total. The commission is divided into 8 points. Each point is $340. So if you do the math, it works up to $340 per point. Now, the 8-point commission structure is patented, and how it works is that every point is equal. So when you look down at the bottom, you start with 1 slice of the pie, right? 1 out of the 8 slices of the 8 points. And that is when you begin your business as a 1A associate. So 1 just means 1 point, and then A is associate or agent or whatever. So the first 2 sales you make, you get 1 slice of the pie. The third sale that you make is 2 slices of the pie, you already get a promotion to 2A, which is 680. Once you have a total of 10 sales between yourself and anybody that you sold to, if they made a sale to somebody else, that counts as well. Once you have a total of 10 sales, you are able to get promoted to the next rank, which is 3 points. And that's 1,020. Once you have a total of 20, you're now promoted to 4A, 4 points once you get your next direct sale. That's 1,360. Then after 50 sales, you're 5A, 5-point agent. That's $1,700. And once you have 101 or more, you're a 6A, and that's 2,040 per sale that you make. So there are 6 different ranks you can achieve. You first 2 direct sales must go in your 1A lane. This means you can earn 1 out of the 8 points. When your 1A direct sales make their own sales, you earn 1 point from their sales as well. And not just from their sales, but also from their team sales. The lane your new sale goes into depends on the total number of directs and team sales in your organization. If you make a sale while your organization is between the numbers at the top, the sale goes into that lane. If you make a direct sale while your organization has between 3 and 10 sales, the direct sale goes into your 2A lane. You will earn 2 points, 680 for each K8 from every team sale that happens under that direct sale. So look at these boxes. You made 1 sale. They keep selling to other people using the platform, online advertising, really promoting this on social media or any other way. You can keep making 680, 680, 680. Like, it's incredible when you start thinking about how many of these sales you need to just replace your full-time job income. It's pretty mind-blowing how quickly that can happen. You only achieve a new rank when you make a direct sale. For example, if your first 2 direct sales had 10 total sales in their team, both direct and team, then your total organization will have 22 units, which allows you to then go to 4A on your next direct sale. You will now earn 4 points from the new distributor sales as long as there are 4 points to earn. You can now see the power of leverage with this system as team sales are made. The same system begins for each new teammate. Look at this, guys. You make 1 sale in your 4A, 1,360, and then it starts to go down and down and down. And as towards the bottom, you'll notice that it eventually descends back to 340, but that's okay because you're going to keep doing this and repeating this process, and you'll be getting checks from multiple team members from different places and really starting to feel the benefits of leverage. Once you have over 100 units in your organization within your 8 points, your next direct sale goes into your 6A lane. This is the first major leadership title. You will now earn $200 for every K8 sale beneath those 8 points where you weren't being compensated anything for that before. And you will also earn a $3,000 bonus for hitting 6A rank. So let's talk about 6A and above. 6A is really like the beginning of the business. Even though it's exciting, you've made a bunch of money up until that point, it's only 100 product sales total. The real true power of this compensation plan starts after 6A. So in order to become a 6A2, it's pretty self-explanatory, but when you reach 6A and you help 2 people in your team reach 6A, they have to be in different lanes. So underneath separate direct sales that you've made, that makes you a 6A2. Now you get quarterly bonuses, which end up adding up and they're real nice, plus a $6,000 bonus. Now here's basically your career roadmap. So you go from 6A to 6A2. We talked about those. Then when you have 2 people in your team hit 6A2, you become a 6A2-2, which is $12,000 bonus. When you hit 6A2-3, which is 2 people on your team hitting 6A2-2 each, then you get a $25,000 one-time title bonus. That's actually a typo on there. It's not monthly, it's one time. And then you get a $5,000 per month as the retirement bonus begins. And then as your business continues to duplicate and multiply, just because the products are so amazing, the marketing and advertising strategies are effective, and more people see the power and potential of Enagic products and opportunity compensation plan, you hit this exponential growth, this critical mass. It starts to compound and avalanche over time. And you can do all of this from your laptop and your cell phone with social media. Like, it's unbelievable what's possible here. And over time, other people will hit these ranks in your business. So it will promote you and advance you in your business. You know, I am personally very close to 682-5 in my business. My wife's already 682-3. She's going to be 682-4 before the end of 2020. And we have 2 other positions that are 682-2 as well. So all of this combined over the course of almost 7 years adds up, right? And you start getting checks and income and bonuses from all sorts of ways. But I started at the beginning just like you. I started at 1A just like you. So over time, most people underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years and overestimate what they can achieve in 1 year. So it leads to a lot of frustration and mismanaged expectations because people are like, I'm going to hit 682-3 in 12 months after starting, which could happen. It's possible, but it's more likely not going to. It's going to happen in year 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and what if it took 10? Even if it took 10, would it be worth it? Well, I know my answer to that question when I first started is absolutely, because there wasn't a better plan that I've ever seen. So I was willing to pay my dues, go through the learning curve, make mistakes, fail my way through success to ultimately be able to reach those higher levels of income and legacy and be able to pay that on. And if something ever happened to me, these commission checks continue to roll in for my family, which is, I think, part of all of our dreams, right? I think everybody wants to retire their parents unless they're already wealthy and retired. But if they aren't, like my parents weren't, and a lot of other people's weren't, it's part of our dream to be able to give back and take care of our parents, right? And then also we want to take care of our families and our spouse. Something ever happened to us, this business gets passed on to them and it continues to pay them and take care of them into the future. And I think that's so beautiful about how Enagic set this up. So the trifecta, we've already touched on this a couple of times, but we're going to reiterate now how it's beneficial on the business specifically. So we talked about each of these products earlier, and this is how the price of the products and the commission paid out and how it all works is kind of broken down. So the Ukon is roughly $760. It's around $800 every 4 months. And the total commission paid out is $320. So each point, depending on where you are in Enagic's compensation plan, is worth $40 per slice or per point, right? In Nespa, the price is $28.90 plus tax, and they pay out 54% of that as well. So the average commission there, depending on what country you live in, but in the US, it's $185 per point. And then the Kangen Water K8 machine is $49.80 plus tax. 54% of that is $27.20, and each point is $340. So what a lot of people want to know is the strategy around the trifecta. How can I get off to a great start? How can I accelerate my business and get to where I want to go much quicker? And what's funny is that I created this trifecta strategy years ago. And what happened for me is that it actually unfolded organically. I had a couple people in my team who got started with one product. They started making some sales, and they had somebody in their 1A, one of their very first customers that bought a machine from them, who just kind of started selling a lot of machines. And after about 6 months, they called me and they're like, Balaj, I'm so upset. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, I'm so upset that this person is in my 1A instead of my 2A or 3A or one of the other higher ranks, because they're doing really well. And I keep getting these checks for $340, and they could be $680 checks. And at first I got mad. I was like, man, you ungrateful SOB, like some people never make sales. Here you are complaining that someone's making so many sales. You keep getting checks for $340 for doing nothing. Like, what's wrong with you? So I got really frustrated and kind of mad at them. Like, yo, be grateful, man. That's not cool. But it happened a few times. And then I was like, starting to think, I'm like, well, they have a point. What if that same person was in their 2A? It would be double the money long-term. The difference could be tens of thousands of dollars long-term. So that was the first clue that happened, and I just paid attention to it. And I didn't really like getting those calls. They were quite annoying, to be frank. I was like, that's not, I don't want to keep getting these calls, people complaining they're getting free checks or whatever from their team, So I was like, that's stupid. Then another 6 months, roughly 4 or 5 months went by, and I noticed that people who were buying the water machine from me in the beginning, like my first 10 or so customers, they were so happy and so loving their products so much that they were coming back to Enagic and wondering, what other products do they have? We love this so much. Do they sell anything else? And of course, they discovered that there was the Enespa shower, and they discovered the Ukon supplement. And they were so happy with their initial purchase, they ended up buying those as well. And what ended up happening is one customer became a repeat customer of 2-3 products over the course of like 10, 11 months. And then I connected the two. I said, what if we just simply offered the 3 best products on day 1 and allowed people to sell those 2 products to themselves, filling the 1A positions in their compensation plan in their business. So their first actual sale, their first actual customer or business partner would be 2A. So then if this person over the long term sells a lot of machines, just like it happened to my first couple buddies, they're not going to be complaining, and they are going to make double long term. So we decided that we're going to give this as an option. Now, it's important for you to know that if this is not feasible for you, then it's not the end of the world. The regular comp plan is just 1 product. So don't feel like you can't get started. But if you're somebody who really wants to hit this hard and go fast, then the Enespas, or the trifecta is the best way to go. And it's helped so many people over the years accelerate and get to the higher ranks faster. So how this works is like this. By selling yourself the K8 and the Ukon, you take out the first 2 mandatory 1A positions. Your first sale to anyone will go into your 2A lane, plus you'll earn $380 just to get started. And you also don't have a payment on your loan for 1 month when you do financing. So that gives you a 30-day head start without having to make any payments. You also get commissions. Even if you sell a product to yourself, the company still treats that as a regular sale. So they're going to cut you a commission check for each product. That totals $380. So if you sell a trifecta in your 2A lane, your very first sale to another person could be $1,130. That's amazing. That's right out of the gate to start. And if you help your new business partner sell a trifecta and earn another $1,130, and this is only in your 2A lane, this is like early in your business, guys. You know, most people are earning $3,000, $5,000 a month in their job. Look at this, a couple of sales and you're almost there, able to earn that type of money. It's just unheard of in this industry. Usually you get $50 here, $100 here per sale, and then they quit in 90 days. The good news, like I said, guys, is no matter what, this is a business model that can work for you. There's a slower track, option A, and there's a faster track, option B. Now, in the long term, you're still able to catch up and do it if for some reason you can only get started on 1 product. So don't be discouraged and don't think like this isn't for you if you can only get 1 product. We want you to get the benefits of Enagic and this offer regardless, okay? So that's important for you to know. However, be resourceful. If you really want this badly, come up with creative ideas on how to start with the trifecta and think outside the box and get creative. And the difference is, so on the left-hand side, make money slow, you're just building your business 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. So really, it's going to take 100 product sales combined to get to 6A. And the reason I say that it's 1 by 1 by 1 is because it's a little bit tougher to communicate to other people that they should start with the trifecta when they ask you how you started and you let them know, oh, I started with 1 product. It's just a little bit harder to sell a trifecta if you didn't start with 1. It doesn't mean it's impossible. It's just a little bit harder. So people will do what you do, not what you say. And that's really the lesson here. So Kangen 8 is $49.80 plus tax. You're able to finance it for $0 down if you qualify on financing. And that could be as little as $50 per month in the US, $120 a month in Canada, 40 pound per month in the UK. And you know, different countries have different monthly rates and all that good stuff. I would recommend starting off with your bank that you have some history with, and they know that you have a job and all that stuff, and ask for a line of credit or a loan through them first. And then we also have some options, third-party financing, lending companies that your Enagic product specialist and advisor can share with you on the call that you do. The next thing is we can do fast track, which is the best way by far. It allows you to build your business in 3s. So it would really take 34 total people. in order for you to reach 6A. So that's obviously 3 times better, 3 times quicker. You get to take advantage in the full benefits of the top 3 selling products Enagic offers, Kangen 8 machine and Nespa Nukon. It's 8630 plus taxes. Prices vary a little bit based on where you live, but it's roughly $10,000 in that range. You can once again finance it for 0 down. Payments are a little bit more, but you also get $380, like a rebate, I guess you could call it, back right away, which gives you roughly 90 days of no payments to fast track and accelerate your business. If you sell just one trifecta in the first 90 days, then it gives you another 3-4 months of your payments. So you can really use other people's money to self-liquidate the loan that you got. And once the loan's paid off, you just have your marketing budget for your advertising every month and very few other can't talk, man. It's been a long presentation. Very few other expenses. There we go. We're almost done here. So really it just comes down to, how do you want to get started? If you want to get started with option A, which is a slower track, make money slow and build your business one by one in the 1A. You want to get started with option B, fast track, make money fast. The trifecta, it gives you the opportunity to start off. If you sell one product, like the K8, for example, in your 2A, boom, $680 right out of the gate. Or what is more likely to happen is they're going to get a trifecta because you got a trifecta, and they're going to copy you because you're their mentor and their upline, and they want to learn from you and follow in your footsteps. So boom, $1,130 out of the gate, guys. And you start being able to share the results that you're getting out of the gate, then you'll very quickly realize that most businesses aren't even generating positive cash flow for years, yet alone, relatively soon after you start here. It's just super powerful. And this is a picture that is sentimental for me that I just want to share with you to inspire you of what's possible. There are faces and names on this Enagic Hall of Fame, about 30 to 35 people all over the world since the beginning of this company in terms of the business. And when I started in this business, 6A seemed like an impossible mountain to climb. And part of the reason for that was because I didn't have online. I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have any people to teach me and show me the way that you guys have. I was basically having to figure it out on my own. So I was like, how in the world am I going to get to 6A? The biggest inspiration in my life at the time, from a business perspective, was my old boss from door-to-door sales. He was like the pinnacle of success for me at the time I started this, because he was doing really well. He was a millionaire. He would come in out of the office once or twice a week and live his life, and I was running everything. I was basically the guy, running his whole company. And when I told him about Enagic, I was so excited. I had, eyes of grandeur, and I'm going to make it to the top. And I had that hope for my future that I was going to hit 6A and go even further than that. And I shared it with him, and I just wanted his approval. I wanted his blessing. I wanted him to be like, you can do this. And you know what he said? He's like, you're never going to hit 6A. And it just kind of crushed me. I was like, oh, the one guy who I look up to just basically said I was a loser and I'm not going to be able to make it. And this is an important lesson for you, because you might watch this video, be so excited, so pumped, and maybe this has already happened, but you're going to go share it with somebody that you love and respect and want their approval, want their support, and they might not give it to you. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. And it could feel so, to kind of be like, I only wanted this one person to be like, man, you got this, I believe in you. And they didn't do that. But you have to be able to do that for yourself. So I almost didn't start this company. I almost didn't start my Enagic business because of what happened with my old boss. Think about that for a second. There would be, I don't even know, tens of thousands of people around the world who wouldn't have got these products, who wouldn't have these opportunities. Other people wouldn't be doing this had I not done it anyway, despite that. And the faces in this Enagic Hall of Fame were there when I started this business 7 years ago, most of them. And now, in the bottom right-hand corner, you see my face. And it was a special sentimental victory, because it wasn't about the money here. It wasn't about any of that stuff. It was just about, holy smokes, man. When I started here, I saw a math equation under people's names. I was like, it was like algebra. I'm like 6A4 minus 4. I'm like, I don't even know I don't know what that means. I didn't know what it represented in the company. And there's people on here now who are in my team on the Enagic Hall of Fame also, not even just me. And it was just such a special moment that this happened many, many years later. So I want you to remember that sometimes we can't see the road past the turn. When you're driving your car at night with the headlights, you can only see a little stretch of the road. You can't see the entire journey to where you're headed. And then you have to trust that there's more road gonna unfold in front of your headlights as you continue to drive. And that's literally what I've done in this business. At first it was about 1A, and I could see 2A, and I hit 2A, and then I could see 3A. And I've continued to do that for almost 7 years, which has led us to this moment now, today, where you're watching this and your journey begins, and you get to choose where you want to take this thing and how far you want to go. And we're just here for you, to support you in any way that we can, to give you the tools, give you the resources, give you the support, but you ultimately have to do the work. You ultimately have to put in the time, energy, and effort to get to where you want to go with this opportunity. And the one thing that I can say with 100% certainty is that this is the right opportunity. It is the right products. It is the right community. All of those things that are a variable for your success are all here. They're all amazing, and they're all exactly what you need. It just really comes down to the X factor, which is you, and what you decide to do, and who you decide to become, and how far you decide to take this thing. And it's been proven over and over and over and over again. It's not just me. There's over 100 people in the community, and that's what we want to see for you. And whether you go onto the Enagic Hall of Fame poster thing is not the point. It's just about proving every hater and naysayer in your life wrong, and most importantly, proving yourself right, proving your family right, that you got what it takes, because you do.